yes, being with the old phones means maybe there's a length of protection or isolation from this heavy-duty 5G wave, whatever, electromagnetic field control module. Okay, but really that's only our, looking at it from our perspective, out to them, out to it, out to the, all-is. In other words, our phones aren't going to get us to the all-is, but what I do mean is that our allowance of what we're doing has to be done, at least in the electromagnetic spectrums. We have to be inclusive with the larger framework, which, of course, their capacity to control it is, at the moment, very great. And nonetheless, it doesn't limit us from being able to get something out there into the field. And people are recognizing, even if they're not recognizing real presentation or what it is we're actually warning about, they are all as a whole, there seems to be some movement towards this definite recognition of the issues and the real cause problem and or the true reality vibration or point of view that we're emulating as best we can. And so going to higher technologies doesn't necessarily revert us into the absolute control and turn us into their service robot. It'd be like visiting someone in prison and being allowed to go visit them. Otherwise, we're not allowed to go visit them. And some are requesting that visit. Okay, and I'm going to turn this to a movie that we were watching, which was called Mr. Bates in the Post Office. And it's a PBS true story, happened in about 2005, thereabouts, of this postal workers in Britain had been given the new technology. And all these post offices are owned by the individuals who work in the post office. They have to take ownership, sign the papers, be the active electromagnetic managers, and also manage the delivery of the post. This is in England. Maybe Kevin knows about this. And Mr. Bates had discovered that there was some kind of manipulation going on with the new software by a Japanese company that he wasn't aware of it, being a Japanese or any company. He just knew that the software seemed something was amiss because they couldn't balance their accounts. And it turns out 50 or other post office managers were all having this problem. But at first, he thought he was the only one. And he didn't know what the real problem was. But that what the software engineers had set up was for the financial people who are in the company are going to be manipulating this so that what they do is what I call, it's something like double down accounting or double book accounting. And so the post office manager would get an instant charge at the end of his day of £2,000 or some such number. And he couldn't account for it And then the auditors and whoever else came from the federal English Bureau that came investigating and basically charged the man or the post office managers. And same thing, they also went to legal accusation and charges, and so a couple of the people that had first found out about this and didn't know what the hell was going on pleaded guilty, managers, and went to jail or were fined, and almost all of the people who were involved eventually lost most of their savings, if not everything they had in that sense, and they lost their jobs. And so it's one of the worst things that's ever happened, according to the movie in producers in England in this field. And it went on for like 3 or 4 years before the Mr. Bates finally started to be part of the organization of postmasters that were being charged and or losing their positions. And they joined together, and I haven't seen the end of it, but the point being that their manipulation, they finally identified the company, and at the point I'm at now, they're able to go after the heads of the company that had promoted this or allowed this software project to go through, and did not stop it when they started to get the postmasters telling them there's something seriously wrong. And this is the situation that's happening with everything. Everybody starts to realize there's something wrong. There's a few whistleblower callers, and they are not listened to. It goes on for a period further until finally it gets to the point it has to be addressed, and or that they are able to follow the and basically, you know, they're able to follow the bouncing ball then if they had some record keeping, which this postmaster had done. He kept all the records and had them at home. Seeing as he owned that part of the post office at the time, he was allowed to do this, take all the records home, and that was very important in terms of proving that he hadn't done nothing, and they did not have any of the funds that were supposedly claimed by the software. The company, or whomever, they don't know who actually ends up with the funds, but this is what the tech promoters and the business executives do in a large scale with everything that's going in that technological application now. And in before that, they would do it with their bookkeeping and land controlling orders. Okay, so I had something else to share and wish I could remember it. I was hoping when I talked about this it would come up. It was a dream that was related to this same kind of controlling domination and how everyone accepts it, and or how it had become aware myself as an observer. And I'm at the point now where I guess I'll just say this part, that I'm really basically being communicated with in the sense of being told not to talk to anybody, not to say anything, not get weird. That's definitely part of it. There's the silencer, and also to follow certain regulations and points of view in terms of how I'm interacting with my own finances and or coordination of regulations that I'm following and working with. As an example, I have a student loan that happened to me at the end of the time I went to college, and that wasn't there when I had applied for it. They loaded it on me at the very end and said, you won't get a degree if you don't accept this loan and pay it off, which I did do, which was now in retrospect not smart, because I got no value out of the degree in any case. And also, they now have this applied lien, I would call it, just like a lien on a mortgage. And so now they're, the United States is giving arrangements to release loans owed them, college loans. This has just gone past by law, or they're applying it, the president, etc. Now I'm being asked to, you should go and apply for this program and they'll take you off your loan, but you have to go apply, which means I have to register again, and my acceptance of whatever that and then they will relinquish or release the loan. I don't know which, we don't know, which is, to me, this is something like what happened exactly with the slaves. And this is how they get people into the media arrangement as well. They sign people up. They say, now you're now a legal citizen. And we will, basically, they acknowledge people as citizens like they did the slaves after slavery was supposedly abolished. What they really did was implement the identification of the individual with the population, which is an enslaved population. And they are included, and not only that, they're almost given a strike against them signal, which says that they are, in this case, let's say mostly Black Americans, African Americans, or what have you, that had become slaves. In the area where I live, this is a prominent feature of everything that is done here, including American institutions, educational and religious, and scientific as well. Where you're only given certain degrees or certifications. Everything is being certified in their view by the American government and or system, and the controllers implementing this control through the American government and its systematic institutions. Oof. Glad I got to write this or record this, and here it is. It's a pretty good overview of exactly the situation. So to allow oneself to be into using 5G electronics or what have you, the higher technology, today I had a thought that it would be, for me to really get anything done, I need to have a much more regulated and dynamic phone electromagnetic spectrum value. I realize it. I can see. I recently put out a Facebook that just said something about the Powerball, and I'm pretty sure I did nothing wrong at all. I wasn't selling nothing, and there was no offer for sales. But they are saying that I did something that they didn't like. It's not in our community standards. This happened once before. I wrote them and said, I don't think I did anything. They wrote me back and said, yes, we recognize that you didn't do anything. But they're putting out this warning, and I registered clearly that what they're really doing is making sure that I don't go against what they want. It has nothing to do with what's good for the people or what is true or real value or even an economic benefit that has nothing to do with their dollars and cents evaluation or their controlled module evaluation. So they don't allow that, or they say that you're in the danger zone. Okay, that's the occurrence, and so I am being given the tone to I don't want to hear it from others, and they do not want to recognize, even if they do recognize the whatever. I don't want to use the words because I'm recognizing one more thing, which is very clearly that they're observing everything that I post and do, and then possibly going to issue some kind of warrant or whatever else you want to call it. And that is the case as I'm understanding it. Yeah, and just to get to the end, there's one more pertinent registration that has to do with the fourth dimensional demon operations that I'm wanting to communicate about, just like we have communicated here today. The same orientation and regulation. Possibly it won't be read, and I never, when I have copied anything like this, like if I did today, copy and pasted all this in just words instead of putting it into a video with posts and so forth, which causes more problems sometimes, but not necessarily any more or worse problem, because they are watching every word that's said and every word that's spoken. I mean, is every word that's written. And so I've got proof of this because inside SKYPE, today I looked up something and I saw a registered advertisement, which is, again, exactly what was mentioned, Val, in the talk about the advertisements everywhere. You looked at it in a positive sense, that we had all our advertisements out everywhere. But what I got in my SKYPE was an advertisement for, I don't remember, it was good, very clearly related here. Yeah, it's just an advertisement inviting me to be part of a group on Facebook, or in SKYPE rather. And it could have been a Facebook group. I, again, don't remember which one. I generally ignore all those things, but it's pertinent to the fact that it came up almost automatically after something I put on. Almost immediately, I got this advertising in SKYPE, which is not where I had posted what it was. I had posted either in YouTube or Facebook. So their network is completely implemented. Absolutely, I think we could say. So there's no avoiding that, because we're also trying to be the ones who are absolutely presenting the real isness and the all is. We can't avoid the technology that they are at, let's say, interpolating or utilizing, because it's the same in that sense as a technology, but it's not really the same in the sense of what the all-isness is. It's only that faculty of this referencing and recognition in the basic field of operation, be it AI, that's that one, or our interdimensional orientation. So